Born
Very
ready.
ready. Really. Hi, y'all. Christina had some poop problems. And I know very well Frances isn't going to let me live it down. So we may as well just tell the story. Yeah?
Yep.
Are we drinking?
Well, I'm
she
drinking.
drank.
I already
I
started.
need to get my drink.
Go ahead. We'll just be here waiting.
Oh, like you did for my poo. Okay. I think that you all might be under the delusion that Frances is patient, empathic.
That would be a delusion.
All right, yeah. No, it would be a delusion. Okay. So I used to eat like shit all the time. And now I pretty much only eat kale and vegetables and strawberries and whatever. I never had a problem before. There was no problem. Now I can't poop worth a fuck. And I don't know why. I thought, okay, I'm only eating kale. That's a lot of roughage, right? Vegetables and fruits. Isn't that supposed to help? It's been a rough go, dude. So Frances had to wait for me so that I can take care of my problem. Oh, she's looking at her watch. Okay. So we usually start this at 11. It is now 11:53. We've been online for 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
I made her wait for 40 minutes. And I don't really care.
That's fine. I was probably doing what I would have been doing anyway, which was just like scrolling through TikTok and shit.
Okay.
So,
Well, sorry to make you wait, Fran. This also happened in Austin. She had to wait for me in Austin. You know, they can't see your sarcastic head nods if they're just listening.
well, it wasn't really sarcastic. I actually did have to wait for Christina to poop several times in Austin.
Several
Much of
times.
our
Several times. There was
Well-
one time. There was one time.
and a shopping excursion and another time.
Wait. We went on a shopping excursion in Austin?
We had to go to Target.
Oh, right.
I wasn't gonna put that part in, but the whole fleet trip.
Oh,
and
now
then
she's doing
we
it.
had to wait.
So when she said fleet, she
work.
doesn't mean transportation. Jesus Christ. See, we can't keep anything sacred. Why do people have to know
I
that I'm
wasn't.
particular?
I wasn't trying to put that
Bitch,
in.
there
You
is
just you
only
didn't remember
there is
it.
only one brand of enema, okay? And it's Fleet. There's nobody listening that doesn't know when you said Fleet what that means.
I was trying to trigger your brain without saying it.
Oh, no, I was
Shopping
I
excursion.
Yeah, no, I was actively avoiding telling our listeners.
Okay, so have you tried fiber? This seems routine. So just checking.
What would you suggest, nutritionist Fran, for fiber?
I mean, like actually, like drink fiber,
No.
not like eat food with fiber in it, which is also great. But like, I have to give my dog fiber with his food just so he shits regularly.
Comparing me to a dog.
Okay, I also take fiber when it's not all systems go.
I'm not wearing a
I'm gonna
beanie,
look
and maybe
up-
I should have. I just washed my hair and it still looks a mess. We need to talk about the like current events in my life. Like I know we have plans for this podcast, but I don't know that you know what's going on.
I don't think I know anything that's happened since Austin. If it's recent events, here I'm gonna send you this. This is the fiber. You're gonna have to drink it. It actually tastes pretty good.
I don't believe you for a minute.
It's okay. Try it. You let me know.
This shit actually works. Powder?
All right, so Christina and I had our own spring break pretty much from this podcast and went to Austin.
Sure.
What craziness has happened since
What
then?
do you mean since
How
then?
long has
I
it
don't
been?
even know that.
2
Have we even?
weeks?
Yeah, this was the second weekend since we left. Did we have a podcast from all that content, or should we just talk about what happened?
Well, so I have the recording from Danny.
Yeah.
But the editing is not super fun for it.
Well, that sucks.
So I keep like starting to do it, then I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it later, and then later becomes 2 weeks.
Right, and here we sit. Austin, I think, and this is not to say that you and I like had conflict at all. We did not. Don't hear that. I think it's the first time we didn't like agree on some things, and I was like, that's weird. And then I think we had like a couple of moments of connection that we haven't. I mean, we're just intrinsically connected already, but like to continue to have conversations that we're not used to having or we haven't had before after 25 years felt like, I don't know, kind of impactful. I don't know if that's your experience of Austin, but like we had 3 or 4 or 5 different things happen that we didn't I don't think we disagreed. I think we perceived differently. And then outside of that, like it led to really serious conversation, I think, that you and I never had. And I think a lot of assumptions, even of mine, came through in that dialogue. I just thought, I don't know. Am I crazy?
No, I totally agree. I don't know what you mean by like what assumptions you had
Oh, well,
that
let's
came
go
through.
through like the whole thing. I mean, I can start there if you want.
Okay. We met a rando.
Oh, we're gonna do the whole thing. Oh shit. Okay.
Is that where we're starting?
I
I don't know.
guess, yeah. All right. So Frances and I went to Austin. It was kind of gross. It was like cold and kind of rainy one day. So we went to get pedicures. And for some reason, this day just ended up being full of like just, I don't know, opportunities for connection or to like talk to random people. Or maybe we were just putting that out in the universe. I don't fucking know. But we were sitting there having pedicures and we met a couple who live in Austin who used to live in Denver. So we had that little, what neighborhood? Oh, where'd you come from? It always happens. And then I asked them for like their advice on what color to put on my toes. And we just started drinking together. And it was just a fun time with
Yeah.
a random couple.
Yeah, because he accidentally got my drink and I got his, and we had a swap. And then we just started joking, and that really opened up the dialogue, I think.
Yeah. So just really cool couple. They were locals. So we asked them, okay, well, after this, like, what should we do? Where should we go? And I already forgot the name of it, bro.
Mama
Dearest?
Mama Dearest.
Mama Dearest. So after our pedicure, we meet this really cool couple. So cool connection. They say, go to this bar, Mama Dearest. And we walk in, and what's your first impression?
Oh man. It was very small, very dark, and had just a ton of stuff. It's one of those places. I feel like I used to go a lot when I was younger, like in my 20s, just had a bunch of different trinkets and shit. And now I go to those places and I go, how do they keep all this clean? That's my first thought. Like, I know. I'm like, who's dusting all this shit to not get in my drink? It reminds me of the place on Dixie. It's a bar like right across the street.
From Halloween?
It's called like Dixie something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dixie Bar and Grill.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Dixie Bar and Grill. Have you ever gone in
Nope.
there?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No, I mean, maybe. No, we did. We went to, what's that game called?
Trivia?
Thank you. We did trivia, and then we ran into the girl we used to work with.
Oh, right. They only did trivia out on the patio.
And it was hot as balls.
Disgusting. Hot, humid. We were like, fuck it.
Right,
we're
we're
not
gonna
doing
go back
trivia.
inside and drink. Yeah.
But we saw her like while we were out there.
I cannot believe you don't remember this.
She had a great bum.
She did have a great.
She had a nice little.
I don't remember. Okay.
I don't remember running into
Oh
her.
my god. Okay, so I cannot believe you don't remember this person. Like you don't remember seeing her, dude. Okay, you know who I'm talking about though. Okay, pseudonym. We'll call her Holly Blether. All right, we worked at Best Buy for a long time. Our boss. Okay, pseudonym for our boss, Elizabeth and Holly, were people that we worked with. Elizabeth was our boss, about 45 years old, I'd say, and Holly was our age, so early 20s, probably. There were rumors that they were hitting it and dating and doing all the things, but Frances. Oh, yes. So for those of you who aren't watching, Frances did her best attempt at a scissoring sign. It took her a few seconds, but she got it. An easier one could just be V, but in the mouth area. Anyway, Holly and Elizabeth, there were rumors that they were going together. That was confusing for a lot of us for a few reasons, mostly because like we were friends with one or the other or both and they wouldn't talk about it. Whatever. So this went on for like, I don't know, years. Like they wouldn't say anything and we knew. Elizabeth would give us some details. There was a series of maybe awkward encounters as a result of this, but either way, right? So this went on for years. So Frances and I, were talking about Holly and Elizabeth, I don't know, every day for like 2 years, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. That probably ended in what, like 2006? And when did we go?
Yeah.
When did we go to?
No idea. Dixie's.
Yeah.
Barn Grill.
Yep.
Maybe 5 years ago.
There was probably 10 years between that and seeing her. Anyway, I'm just saying that I don't know what happened to your brain, right? It's not just that you think everything in the building should be cleaned, but you also forgot someone that we'd had hours of conversation about. 10 years later, when we were doing what was it? Trivia. Why can't I think of that word today? What the fuck? So when we were doing trivia, we revisited all of that conversation. And like 5 years later, maybe you're like, oh, who? I don't remember seeing her. What is wrong with you? That was
I don't
a
know.
part of our lives. They're like a big part of our
whole
history.
sitcom series.
It was a whole season of Best Buy, 550, and all the drama.
I remember like going to the awkward softball game. I remember like a box full of dildos in the trunk of the car. Just random shit.
That was actually long before. That was just when you and I were getting to know Elizabeth as friends.
I thought those two things went together for some reason. Like, I thought one of them was returning dildos.
Oh, no. Okay. So, another chapter of the Best Buy saga was when I was dating someone at the local bar that we always played pool at. So, Elizabeth, Frances, and I would go there and play pool after work or whatever. My girlfriend at the time, Sarah, would bring drinks and whatever. I don't know why, but one day we were hanging out. We went outside of the pool hall. She opened her trunk and said, "Hey, look at this." And there was just a display of dildos. I don't know why.
Just carries them around with them in case you ever need a dildo? If you're in one of those situations.
But I do feel like she might have been in situations that a dildo was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she really encouraged everybody around her to fuck around too. Anyway, I don't even know what the fuck. Where are we at? Why?
Those were my first impressions of Mama Dearest.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, but I thought the place was cool. They had like a bunch of funny shit around.
Yeah.
Fun environment. And then
some creepy too.
The bartender was nice.
Some creepy also.
Oh yeah, they definitely had some creepy shit. So then you go outside, and the outside area was fantastic. I'll definitely post a video, at least on social media, because I'm pretty sure you took a whole video of what the inside and outside looked like.
I did. Yeah, baby dolls and all. Weird. Okay, so pedicure to Mama Dearest and a little buzz. A little bit. Yeah, we were drinking. Pedicures. And then, so we get to Mama Dearest. We see this cool, dark, weird bar. Start talking to the bartender. There was literally nobody there. Nobody. Which is perfect if you want to, take videos and talk to your best friend and, get hammered. So we're sitting there, we're talking, and I guess, were they 3 guys? 4 guys.
3 guys walk in.
So 3 guys walk in. 2 go into a trailer. There's like a trailer on the property that's like a seating area. And then 1 guy is outside rolling his own cigarette. And I don't know why, but I thought that was kind of cool. So he came over, asked for our lighter. I invited him to sit down, which I don't know.
I was going to say, I thought that was not like out of character, but I'm usually the one that, if anything, I'll strike up a conversation with strangers. But like, you had done this now twice that same day. And I was like, who's this person I'm hanging out with?
Who is this, right? And that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who this is. I really don't know. That's a different episode. This is after a lot of heartache, breakup, divorce, therapy, and all the other things. But like, human connection feels so much better now. Maybe I just came to.
That's cool.
Maybe I just came to appreciate it after, I don't know, getting in trouble for it for 5 years. Anyway, we go. Okay, so this guy wrapping a cigarette comes over, asks us for a lighter. I invite him to sit down. Later on, Frances and I started, this is the conversation that we would later disagree on, but what I said in the original content was that if we were just looking at social identities and I was looking at this person who walked in a bar, I wouldn't automatically say, oh, that looks like a dude that I want to get to know. Like, no, he's white, he's cis, he's straight, he's like, I mean, I'm assuming, right? I just thought, like, he's a white guy with his buddies, which already bro culture has me. And so, like, the fact that his buddies went inside, he stayed outside to roll a cigarette, I was like, all right, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I thought. That actually wasn't conscious thought at all. I just invited a person who asked us for a lighter over. but social identities wouldn't have dictated that we would be friends. But he ended up being just, I don't know, how do you describe Danny Boy? I don't know, like just open minded and progressive in some ways and oddly libertarian in other ways that, we argued about. But like either way, a good human, seemingly, right? And so we talked to him for at least 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I've known Frances for 25 years and we put together about 3 hours pretty easily. I don't know that I've ever put together 5 or 6 hours with a stranger ever, let alone getting into the topics that we were getting into. It was corporate hierarchy and it was cognitive behavioral techniques. And I'm the fucking therapist in the room, but this guy, he was raised by psychiatrists, I think. Isn't that what he said? Or psychologists?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
mom.
He had all the terminology and all the work and all the things. And of course, we disagreed, but I think the process of having conversations with someone who I would have assumed didn't have many of our views aligning and doing it and recognizing that that wasn't the case this time and how many opportunities am I potentially missing if I'm not letting people actually show me who they are and I'm just putting them in these boxes based on what they look like or what they sound like or what they wear or whatever. And aren't I just part of the problem, right? Yes, I don't think that the argument was whether or not I'm part of the problem. I think we both agree. I think it was the why that I felt you didn't understand. So I'm gonna stop because I want to go through that the line of like disagreement to understanding, or maybe I don't know, whatever. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, and just like you said, like how I don't understand. I mean, I think that's the whole point. So to me, I was looking at it like you're kind of doing what you wouldn't want other people to do to you. So to me, that's like,
Counterintuitive.
but I've also never been through situations you've been through to have to put those guards up to say, it doesn't matter. Even if I'm wrong, like I'm going to protect myself at all costs. And if I miss out on or make some assumptions, then so be it. But I think that's really just the difference. Like I've never had to do that, so I have the freedom to just kind of allow people in and then they can show me if they're shit people or not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I would have been able to articulate what I did that day at any previous time in my lifetime. It's not something that like consciously happens, like people don't walk in a room and I give them a score of safe or not. Like it's not that operationalized, like it doesn't spit out some kind of score. I guess your brain just puts together like micro interactions with types of people, right? And so you're at a frat party and you know that your friend was raped, like you're gonna look at frat boy, like no, not every frat boy is a rapist, no, but you have these fragmented experiences in your brain of what these types of people do, and that is exactly what we're trying not to do. That's the argument of all of the equity stuff, right? Like I get that. And if someone hurts you, your brain and body is going to remember that. And so, yeah, I have been, and I think not that you haven't experienced that, right? You're a woman. So I'm sure that you've experienced adverse interactions with men or anyone, really. And maybe you have some of that. I think when you're part of the gay community, you just get a barrage of it all the time. So like you go to pride parades and you'll have people picketing the way that you love, and you'll have people spitting at you or screaming, dyke, fag, insert disgusting thing here. I'll tell you, this is my experience. I only speak for myself, but I don't know many gay people who don't know someone who was assaulted, raped, killed, hurt physically for being part of the community. And of course, I have long hair. I don't have to be gay if I don't want to be. And so that's a privilege and I understand that. But those are my community. Those are the people who, like, I don't know them, but we are connected through an experience. And then shooter at Pulse in Orlando. And just the targeting for who you are, it's just kind of, I don't know, it adds up. And so, like, for me, yeah, of course, I've been called all kinds of names because I was holding my girlfriend's hand, or there was graffiti on my door. I think that is just part of being part of the community and living in a red state. But I didn't recognize what my brain was doing. So, like, when I see someone in khakis and a sweater around their neck and a crew cut and a fucking flip flops, like the bro type and what goes along with the bro type and the entitlement to women's bodies and rape culture and the things that are always hitting us in the face, that's always what that dude looks like, man. I'm sorry. And that doesn't mean that dude is that way. But my brain says, alert, like red flag. You probably don't want to engage with that dude. I don't want anything to do with him. I'm sure he's fine. He's great. Like, I don't know. And I think I've done that over and over and over and over and over and over again, that it is now touching so many people that I can't have a conversation with anybody unless they're a lesbian who's tattooed. Like, it's like, I don't. Or
Or
you.
somebody with a lot of lesbian
Something,
indicators and tattoos
and
will
so
do.
I can't
Okay.
figure out why I'm alone. Right? Like, it's just, and I think living in Denver is easier because there's so many more people like me, not the other way around. But being in the South, there were still cowboy boots and there were jeans and Wranglers and cowboy hats and we have that here in Colorado too, but not usually very much in Denver.
We were in like the most liberal pocket of all of Texas. Maybe the only liberal pocket of all of Texas, by the way.
I think
Actually, like the environment, I thought Austin reminded me a lot of
it did.
Denver,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. I don't know that it was where we were or what I was seeing or like the literal geography of my body being back in the South. I don't know. But I don't know that I was ever able to actually like articulate what was happening in my brain that would have prevented a conversation like that before. And what's happened all of a
And
sudden now that I'm like, I don't know. It's weird.
and I don't know if we had done the same thing 10 times, would it have even happened a majority of the time?
Right.
I think we just kind of got lucky with this person and this interaction.
Mhm.
I think our conversation really started when he said something about us being young, and you were like, how old are we? And that's really what got the conversation rolling, because his mom or his grandma, somebody would never let him ask or even suggest a woman's age. So even in that sense, you're like, okay, maybe this guy's a little more traditional. You know, we're kind of going down this road, but you're picking up on traditional cues, which could lead towards a conservative view. And then it was like, oh, wait, I honestly don't even know where. Okay, I know he didn't vote in the last election because we got that, but I don't even know like where on the political spectrum he leans. I don't know if he knows.
So if I were to summarize what he said, my assessment of him would be that he thinks too existentially to be able to bring himself to value the binary political system that we are working within. Right? So like it's not Democrats and it's not Republicans and it's not even capitalism. It's not even da 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 da. It's general power. It's general whatever. Yes, of course. Yeah. If we were to look at the structure, yes, those are the things that are creating the environment in which we're attempting to navigate. But he was so up here that nothing that we actually deal with every day is relevant to him. But again, the argument is, isn't that a privilege? To be able to walk through the world with such an existential view that you don't have to bring yourself down to what the rest of us are actually feeling and living with because maybe it doesn't impact you as much as it does us. And that was my argument to him. I agree with you. Like, if we were talking in a frame of the universe rather than, excuse me, to live in the city.
I don't hear it anymore.
Okay.
I must have heard it like when it was coming.
So, where were we?
He's just too.
Oh, yeah. Like, and so he would say, if you vote for any party, you're part of the problem because he's thinking at such a high level that it's really power disparity and structure that needs to change. But there is no answer to the how of that. And I think that's where we started to, and kind of in a way, in my head, I was thinking that's convenient. Like, it's a convenient way of feeling engaged without being engaged. You can talk these points. You can convince people around you that you didn't vote and that was okay because you have this existential understanding of what should be around structure rather than reality. But that's not what we're living within. I mean, not coming down and dealing with reality feels like a privilege to me. I think that was kind of how I left the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same sense of like how, oh, okay, say I'm independent, but there's no way I was going to vote independent in this last election. Like, I know that would just be stupid. Like, you're going to have to pick a side.
Well, yeah. And that means that your lens is down in reality. None of us love our political system, and we're just trying not to become a fucking authoritarian state. Like, okay, maybe if we were in some kind of settled and stable political system, then maybe you can have this view. But like, bro, we need your vote. Just saying.
We'll have to edit that podcast and put it up.
Yeah. It was interesting, and I really enjoyed his existentialism. I can get my brain there. It doesn't naturally go there, but I can. In a way, it does feel better to stay there, to feel, and this is arguable, but to feel so lucky and grateful because of how unlikely it is that we're even here. If you can somehow see the world through this perspective of like infinite time and space, like how this is like a whole documentary.
How minuscule our entire existence really is.
Yeah. And to be a person alive during such a brief bit of time that anyone gets to live, our very existence is a blip. Now we are a person within that existence. And I don't know, I think in a way that does make everything feel better. Not necessarily because I'm insignificant, and I am, which could feel great or awful, but mostly just how lucky I am and what I'm going to do with it. And so it is so insignificant. So what I do if I fuck up completely, all right. Right. But if I do something pretty good,
Yeah.
Sweet. So few people got that chance, you know? And I think it's a real fucking shame when people use it for hate and divisiveness and everything we're seeing right now. But I can see why that would be a cool perspective to keep a lot of times.
I was just talking with Andy yesterday, and I feel like I'm here for the second time in my life. I was probably around like 38 to 40. I don't even know if I was that old. But I went through a phase where I feel like my life is totally insignificant. Like, I haven't done anything of importance. I was just deciding to like never have a family, which is kind of, I think, an easy, I don't know if easy is the right word, but a lot of people that choose to have a family, then they go, oh, this is my purpose.
This is what makes it meaningful.
I'm creating people that are going to go on and
legacy.
And yeah, your legacy is immediately gone when you decide to not have kids. I don't know if Annie did it. I definitely did it. But I was like, well, what's my purpose now? What am I going to do with my life? We're dinks and we've done nothing, you know? Like, what? We have all this time and money, supposedly. What are we doing? I kind of got over that pretty quickly because like, I think COVID happened and I was just like, fucking, it doesn't matter. None of us are doing shit, you know? So that got me past that for a while. And for some reason, I'm like kind of back here now. And I think it's really just because there's so much shit going on. And I just wonder, am I going to do anything of importance at this point in history?
I mean, it depends on what you find impactful or where your perspective is on impact. Right? So like you could die tomorrow and realize that you were a part of my entire existence and your nieces. You know what I mean? If that's the impact that we're looking for, like, you good. And I think that's more than most people can even say. And then you have like history makers. No, I don't think I'll ever be a history maker. And that's okay. But I can die knowing my actions didn't make it any worse. Right? My intent while I was here was to make it better for one person or several or whoever came into my orbit. Right? Like, I'm good with that because that's a positive impact rather than everything else. I don't know.
Yeah.
But do you have gas or is Ollie in there with you?
Oliver, I keep muting it, or I was muting it. Yay, I got my new sheets. Sheets have been delivered.
Yay.
I ripped a hole in my sheets. Washing the same sheets for 2 years, they just spin out.
Yeah.
And then when I'm kicking around at night, it's just like, oh. Yeah, I used to have several sets of sheets, and I'd like wash one and put one out of my closet on the bed, and then it's like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I hate folding sheets. So why don't I just wash the sheets, get them out of the dryer, put them on the bed? I never have to fold sheets. I don't have to store any in a closet. But the problem is, I'm constantly washing the same set of sheets. So, oops.
Wow. Riveting. Riveting content you just gave us.
Riveting.
Yes. You guys, Frances was my partying friend. She was my
And
she was
now,
yeah, no. She was my partying. I would be the one to say to my much older, supposedly more mature friend, dude, come on. Let's go. No, call out of work. Say you had bad sushi.
it worked.
You were my boss, stupid. Of course it worked.
All right. So maybe I can tie in Danny's podcast or whatever.
Yeah, I like that.
And then if you want, we can stop because your tummy.
My tummy is fucking killing me. I don't know what's happening.
I'm trying to think. So, like, even when I was vegetarian and vegan, pretty sure I was regular. Dude, when I had gas, it was the smelliest.
Hey, you're supposed to like your own brand.
I mean, I didn't gross myself out, but I would have been like, man, if anyone else was in here, I'd be embarrassed.
No, you were
Or
fine with it,
it's
really.
like-
You were just like impressed with yourself,
Yeah.
but glad nobody else had to. Okay. See, if I
didn't have to put anyone
if
else
I
through
talk
that.
about my shit at the beginning of this episode, you keep your shit at the end of this episode. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
it's
But at least if Andy walked in or something, I could be like, oh my gosh, Oliver.
never Oliver. Andy, you're
Yeah.
hearing it here.
Oh man.
Just-
He just farted.
Oh, sure. Sure, it was Ollie. Do you believe her, folks? I certainly do not.
Well, I guess now, besides all of our listeners, you were the only person in my life that I would talk to about poop at all. Like,
I am so
when we first started
privileged.
talking about it, but you used to, I mean, you would.
What I used to do. What are you talking about?
Okay, so my husband and I have been married, 18, almost 19 years. And we won't even poop in the same vicinity as each other. So, like, if he's in the living room, which is by this bathroom, I'd go all the way to my bedroom, or vice versa. Like, you go opposite of where the other person is, and you don't discuss what's happening. You don't talk about what happened while you were there. You don't talk about what was produced. Nothing. That's our after 19 years. 21 years together. You would tell me stories like you would leave the door open and you would be talking to Dwayne whilst. And I'm like, no, dude, can't do that shit.
Yes, not you. I would tell you stories about me sitting in front of Dwayne. Oh, yeah, me and Dwayne were, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
See, like I could never. I'm not
But
there. I would never
okay,
be there
and
in my relationship.
fairly, it depends on the relationship. Okay, I don't know if I ever met someone like Dwayne again that would ever happen again. But it was like our relationship at the time. We were just like besties, whatever. I don't know.
And you still later and was like, oh, you're so sexy.
I mean, yeah, it's poop. Who cares? I mean, as long as she washed her ass.
I mean, I know it happens. I just don't want to see it happening.
Well, are you under any delusion that Andy doesn't have like an asshole? Like,
no,
and what happens with it?
Not at all.
Okay, and so when you're in bed and you see that asshole, you're like, oh, that thing has never done anything before. Like, no, girl, what are you trying to delude yourself? Why is the delusion important? So what if you're like plucking your eyebrows while he's blooping next to you? Like, who gives the shit? Like, I don't get it.
No,
Get it.
I don't think I can see it. 'Cause I think if I see it, the next time
Well,
like
look,
anything's going down and I close my
bracelet
eyes,
up off the garbage can to smell it. You don't have to. You don't have to. Now we have to tell that story.
have we not? I feel like we have. Maybe not, but I feel like we have.
I don't think so. All right, another Best Buy story. Here we go. 3, 2. Okay, so Frances has a reputation in our relationship of being gross when it comes to smelling shit.
I'm
Except
very
for poop.
curious.
She can't smell her husband's poop while she's plucking her eyebrows, but she can do this. Okay, are we ready? So, okay, caveat. What if the bathroom door shut, but then there's another part of your bathroom that's still a bathroom? Are you allowed in that part?
I think that's fine. Yes. The only thing, I just don't want to see it.
Why are you looking? Why
Okay,
are
I'm
you
sorry.
looking?
I don't mean it as in the poo. I mean it as in my husband shitting. I don't want to see my husband shitting.
Why?
I just don't want that image
It'll
in my
look
head.
just like he was sitting somewhere else naked.
No, because what if at some point he goes, oh, no, I can't do it. I'm like, no. I would never want him to see me doing it.
Okay, all right. So the story is now irrelevant, but we can still tell it if you want to, and we don't have to. But I was thinking you were saying like you don't want to see your husband shit. I'm like, well, I don't want to see anything, but like just being in the presence of the person whilst it's happening, like who cares? And if it smells too bad, leave. I don't know.
See, I don't even want to be in the situation where I go, oh, it smells too bad, I have to leave. That I mean, just that in itself is turning me off.
Listen, I understand, but not all of us have the privilege of living in a place that has 2 bathrooms. But here's the thing, okay? Right, city living. I was married in a 1-bedroom, 1 bath. So don't. Yeah,
True.
you got to do something. And actually, in that relationship, which is really interesting, it never happened because she wouldn't let it happen. But in a scenario like that, that would be a problem. Okay. The bracelet story.
I'm just really curious about how things smell.
No.
It doesn't matter if they're good, bad.
Friend. There's no making this better. You don't. Okay, I'll give you your best shot. Tell the audience your side before I even tell the story. Go ahead.
I am just really good at protecting myself. This is a thing, right? This is why we smell things. This is how cavemen survived, dude. I would have lived longer than a lot of you fools because I smell everything.
This
baby's on
explanation
point.
got real deep. That is not a defense at all. There is nothing. Your life was not in danger as a result of my leather bracelet. There wasn't. Your life was fine. So,
if you think the milk is bad, what do? You smell it.
How bad is the date? Can I see chunks? How dated, Frances?
Okay, if there were chunks, I would still smell it because I'm just curious as to how bad it smells.
And that's where it gets weird. That is exactly what we're establishing right now.
Did I make your point for you?
And this goes for anything. Like, this goes for anything.
I mean, I've never walked up on a pile of dog shit and said, I wonder how bad that smells.
Okay, so dog shit. Okay,
now we're getting somewhere. Purposely smell dog shit.
Is a line. Okay, all right.
I think it's more about
dog
like
shit to sour
milk.
Okay.
Well, sour milk wasn't the.
No, you said
I don't really enjoy.
You said chunks or not, I will smell it because I'm curious what it smells like. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard that.
It's valid. I mean, I don't drink milk. There's never milk in my fridge, so this scenario just doesn't actually happen. But I'll be like, oh, I wonder how bad that
smell it.
Right now? No, I don't actually smell it. But I'm curious. Like, I stop myself from doing like batshit crazy things. But I do go, I wonder how bad that smells.
Okay, so maybe what we're seeing here is that over the course of 20 years or so, maybe your discretionary sniffs, like how you decide what you're going to smell or not, has improved. Because 20 years ago, my bracelet was free game. And I've had somebody telling me for 20 years that was absolutely insane and I should never do that. So now I've tried to pull back the reins. Here's the story, y'all. You know? So, Frances, okay, it all comes back to Best Buy. It's where we met. Back in the day, when I first came out. Okay, so I met Frances probably, I don't even know, less than a year after I came out of the closet. Okay, give me grace, y'all, because being gay meant you wore big white belts and actually these, but now they're back, right? So like, or big watches, or just gay indicators, like wife beaters. There was always these indicators. And one thing back then, at least in Florida, hot, humid, sweaty Florida, was leather bracelets, like not what I'm wearing, but like thick, like leather bands almost, right? So there's a lot of markets and things in Florida. And so at one, I was like, oh, that leather bracelet is super fucking gay and I want to wear that, right? But the brilliant designer of this bracelet, there wasn't a clasp or anything. You just had to tie it, right? So it's like a permanent bracelet. And I fucking loved it. So I just kept it on, but I couldn't take it off. So I took showers with it, and every time I washed my hands it got wet, and every time I worked out with it, I wiped my ass probably with that hand, Frances.
I hope you never got shit on your bracelet.
I hope so too, for your sake. So I don't know how long I fucking wore this thing. I don't even know. It did
for years, dude. It must have been
a
years.
part of me. I don't know why. It's like I didn't even notice it was there anymore. It was just there all the fucking time. So random one day, it was hot. It was Florida. I had just come in for my shift. Apparently, it was in admin, not in inventory. I disagree, but whatever. So I walk in and Frances is there. I just look at my arm and I remember thinking, oh, it's like it just feels so grody on my arm. I can't handle one more millisecond of this thing on my arm feeling slimy because I had just taken a shower. If you take a shower in Florida, then leave your house, you're wet for like the next 45 fucking hours because it's so humid and gross and your hair is stuck to your forehead. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, but the bracelet was grimy and gross and slippery and I hated it and I wanted it off. So I took it off and I threw it in a garbage can that was sitting between me and Frances. And Frances, do you want to tell everybody what happened after that?
I just reached in and grabbed it and smelled it. And I think when I just, it out of like reaction, I did this. And I think when I smelled it, you just went like, and then I realized she can see me doing this right now. You were like, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you just do that? I was just so curious, dude. Like, just when you were explaining the bracelet, it made me curious again. What did that thing smell like, dude?
You can tell everyone. What did it smell like? You're the only one that could tell us.
It literally just smelled like leather. I didn't get any of your pheromones that Oliver loves so much.
He really fucking does. That I've never been humped so much in my life. I mean, that's not true. By an animal. But so
yeah, good ad. Thanks. I remembered seeing that thing on you for so long. Even while you were wearing it, several times I probably said to myself, I wonder what that thing smells like right now.
You know what I mean? I think that, yeah, no, I do think that must be the case because it was so natural. Like, it wasn't like you didn't try to hide it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to wait for Cristina to leave. I'm going to sneak a sniff. Like, that's not what happened. Who's that comedian that does like right? Like, unapologetically, yeah. Molly? Who is that? Whatever. I don't.
Yeah, Molly.
You just went for it, and so it wasn't even a small sniff. It wasn't like, oh, I'm embarrassed to do this, but I'm gonna do it. It was a full on like, put that thing up my fucking nostril, and I'm still freaked out by it, bro.
I was like, oh man, dude. I probably smelled it a couple times because I was shocked that it still smelled like leather. This can't be right.
That's not what Christina's pheromones smell like.
I just had to know.
That's not okay. Yeah, you didn't though.
I just had to know.
No, you didn't. Like, if you didn't know, we'd still be here.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
You're never curious about what other people smell like?
Well, I am, actually, quite often. I do wonder what people like all the time because they look like they smell nice. Like, if I see a beautiful woman and she's walking toward me in some kind of power suit, I know she has a signature scent on. I want to smell that. Give me that whiff. That kind of thing, yeah. I actually met someone very recently who, I don't know what she does, but she smells good all the time. I don't know. Like, it's just like some people just have that thing. I love that.
Yeah, I don't have that thing.
But do you know if you have that thing?
I have to spray stuff.
Do you know? Like, do you think these
No, I
people
don't think I have
know
that
that they
thing.
actually smell as good as? I mean, I know that they put stuff on because they want to smell like that, but do you know if you ever smell as good as you think you smell? I'm having this debate with myself very recently because, like, I've had a signature scent for like 20 years. I still love it, and it's discontinued. I have to get on the fucking black market at this point, but it has to be at like one of those shops. But I don't know. I don't even know how successful this signature scent has been. Do I want a new one?
I don't know. I always have a different scent
But
on. Like I have a bunch of different sprays that I use.
we're
I
not getting
just
off of your point. So my point is, yes, I want to smell good things. Good things.
I don't necessarily want to smell bad things.
Brad has
It's just
not
things
Brad
make me curious. We've
feel
just
like
named
myself
all the bad things.
I feel like myself and all 12 to 14 listeners we can play back that beautiful bean footage because you just said some shit about liking or being very curious, so compelled to smell a lot of shit, dude.
yeah, but it's not just bad stuff. If there's a pie cooking,
You enjoy that as well. Well, if you didn't enjoy that and you did enjoy armpits, there would be a whole different conversation, Francis. But it doesn't seem like you seek the good. It almost feels like a self-sabotaging mechanism.
that leather bracelet's the only thing I ever seeked to smell that I didn't think was gonna smell like, warm apple pie.
You just talked about
But I
armpits
don't
and
smell those
you
things.
said milk. You said
But
armpits.
I'm curious. I'm curious if those things would smell really bad, but I don't go around smelling people's armpits.
Francis, I give up on you. I give up. All right, I gotta go. I got a date. Ooh.
Piece of candy.
Piece of candy. What kind of candy are you eating?
Gummy bears.
They're not sugar-free, are they?
My MO.
Yeah.
It's either this or jelly beans.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any content?
All right.
That last bit was great.
We'll see how much
You look
stays.
like a freak.
Next week we'll do
No,
the
you gotta leave it in. You can't just
silly.
edit everything that makes you look like a freak out and keep my enemas in. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Oh, you know what's really fucked up is that I just recorded like 16 minutes of the last bit so that I can share it with someone I just met, and I told I was doing this and I didn't know how to describe what we do. So I just took a little recording here.
Of the shit in me being a weird smeller?
Yep. So it's gonna be out in the public anyway. So now you gotta put it in.
I didn't say I was taking it out. I said
You can't take it
some
out.
of it might be coming out.
No.
Just editorial,
Just the ums and the ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Show. All
right. Next time we'll do all the silly random questions.
Okay. An example of one of the random questions so we can give a sneak peek.
Would you rather be incredibly smart or incredibly beautiful?
If I'm incredibly beautiful, am I incredibly dumb, or do I get some kind of mediocrity in my intelligence?
Apparently you're dumb. Because that would only make
that means if I'm smart, I'm super ugly, not some kind of mediocrity in aesthetic.
We'll go with that. Makes it better.
So really the question is if I want to die alone or be able to read. That's my interpretation of that. I don't fucking know. All right, more next week. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
All right, y'all. Here we are, East Austin. We got a recommendation from our fellow at the nail salon, the man fighting toxic masculinity like a champ. It's Mama Dearest in East Austin. Pretty cool fucking place. Yeah. Here we go. Mama's Pleasures. There's so many. Frances.
There's a whole yard out there. Y'all feel free to wander, check out the trailer. Okay. Lady business, we just come there like music all day.
Okay. What's your food truck called?
FTG.
It's perfect.
Okay.
What sounds good? So both of the chefs, the roommates, they both work at this.
All right, Mama Dearest, we're feeling your vibe. We're feeling it. They have a whole outdoors here.
hell yeah. This place is awesome. Nate is the bartender. Really nice guy. Safe place for all kinds. And by the way, for a dive bar, they have real fucking awesome bourbon choices, including Angel's Envy, if y'all want to come. Yeah, catch up to you in a minute.